Bring your cup and take a seat. Fill it up, coffee, wine, or tea. Come find what you're looking for. A good pour.
Welcome back to A Good Pour. I am Kathryn Good, your host. Today, it is just my thrill and delight to have two very, very good friends here. We have Liz Shea, this is your second time on the podcast.
Oh, that's right, the one word.
The one word. And we have Jenny Slate Lee. Hi. Who I've just known these ladies forever, it feels like. But they are very, very dear friends to me. And if you have noticed, we have a new jingle at the beginning of this podcast, and they are the creators. So I wanted to have them on and tell a little bit of their story and the story of the jingle. So welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Kathryn.
It's such fun.
So tell me why I even thought of y'all to ask. Like, what is your background? I mean, I've heard your beautiful voices for years now, but y'all have done lots of different things. So tell me why I even thought of you.
Well, first, because you're awesome.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with it.
And Kathryn has been so supportive with everything that we have ever done. I mean, you've shown up at shows, you've shown up at events, you've supported us. So thank you for thinking of us and asking us to do it. It's been just a huge gift and honor to be able to bless you in this way. But to give a little background, this girl, Jenny Slate Lee, was raised in a prominently musical family here in Nashville. Her dad is Johnny Slate, who is a well-known producer in Nashville and Music Row, produced Tim McGraw, Joe Diffie, Ty Herndon, Sons of the Desert, etc., etc. And also her mom, Janet, was a beautiful model and ended up being the bread to his butter. Like she held everything together. Yep. In their publishing company and management company, API Image Management. And so she kept that ship running and organized. And her big sister, Stacy, was the publisher there. And Stephen works at BMI. And so
family affair.
Absolutely. And they were really adamant about her being a kid. And so Jenny came out of the womb with a hold my beer attitude. And she, I'm going to have to use that. I think it's true. She learned to play the piano, listening to the soundtrack of Jurassic Park. I mean, that's no small feat.
Wow.
Learned by ear.
Yeah. Every time we'd go and see movies, I'd come home and I don't know, I was obsessed with all the background music of movies. Yeah.
I did not know that.
My first song, I was 7 and it was called Soviet Stream. So I'm thinking that was like a news thing that was
Soviet
Stream. I know, for a 7-year-old.
Really?
I don't know.
That tells you a lot about this.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And not only that, she's an incredible actress as well. I mean, you did Steeple Players before HPAC. It was called Steeple Players. Steeple Players, and then also got shows at TPAC with the Tennessee Repertory Theater, and has been a songwriter. And I think you just absorbed everything in the studio with your dad and being around writers. They couldn't hold you back. So it was just evident your talent and your drive, and that led to a lot of opportunities. And so I grew up in the Nashville area. My parents are teachers, but they wanted more for my brother and I. I also came from a musical heritage. Mm-hmm. My grandfather was one of 10 Mennonite children who traveled around the country during the Great Depression, singing from church to church like the Von Trapp children. So that was in my blood. And I was discovered by an agent. Her name is Betty Clark, and she managed Jim Varney and Reese Witherspoon and some other big talents. And she saw me when I was 18 months old in a park, actually the Dragon Park in Nashville. This is a Nashville podcast. I gotta say it. People know what it is. And I started acting in commercials and TV and film and music videos at that early age.
That beautiful red hair and that smile.
18 months?
18 months. So it's all I've known. And of course, sang, danced, acted on the stage, and also got to work with Tennessee Repertory Theater at TPAC, worked at Opryland from the time I was 7 until it closed when I was 15. So that was definitely my childhood, being on the stage there. And we met, actually, she was doing Fiddler on the Roof.
Was it Fiddler? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And my brother, they were high school sweethearts, short, cute little relationship. But he said, I met your match, Liz. And so I saw her and was absolutely blown away. And I just not only found someone who was like-minded, was a kindred spirit.
Yes.
But when they broke up, I said, well, we're not breaking up.
Totally.
Totally.
So how old were y'all then?
I was 13,
14. Yeah.
And when I
Same age our daughters are. So true. So
crazy.
we started with songwriting when you were like 15.
Well, that was it. When I had my first breakup, she's the reason I started writing songs, because she showed up on my doorstep with flowers and a notebook and said, write it down. And so you helped me write my first song. And then soon after...
She's amazing with lyrics. They just come to her so fast.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, her dad and mom saw talent in both of us and signed us to a writer's deal, artist deal. So I like to say we went to the School of Music Row.
Yeah.
And after school every day, we would go to Music Row and write with these amazing writers, be in the studio with these producers, and including her dad.
Amazing songwriters. You could walk down the hallway and be like, oh, they're writing a good one today. Oh, they're having a deep conversation. That's going to turn into a ballad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Just learned so much from all of them. And of course, like I said, she absorbed so much of the production. She just has such strong musicality, understands all of that. I was focused on performance and lyrics, and as an artist was trying to like promote myself through those years.
She was amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
So were you. And it was just neat to be able to kind of go through our future and all of our endeavors, cheering each other on, supporting each other.
Definitely.
Even though we would go this way, we
always
kind of give back, stayed connected. LA. Yeah. And so it was.
I mean, it's this wild. We both did Star Search.
Yeah.
Seriously, what are the odds of that?
Within a few weeks.
Within a few weeks.
Did you know each other then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. And so she did it first. And when I came on, I was like, so my best friend was just here like 6 weeks ago. And I was like, it was Liz Shea. And they're like, no way. We loved her. What? So she actually came out and like, they connected with the whole crew. Yeah. So she was in the audience when I was there.
It was
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
So before we talk about the jingle, tell me, I mean, I know you both, and I know you've had a journey in this industry that's constantly changing, especially with AI right now. I know you've let it define you. I've known you. You've been frustrated with trying to create something and knowing you create something good and it not getting the attention that it deserves. Tell me what it's like to do good work, to do soul work, but sometimes it just lives with you.
That's a really good, deep question that I think every single artist can absolutely relate to.
Yep.
You know, I think what also brings us back to the table as musicians and artists is that magic moment when something's coming together and you're piecing together the song, or the first time that the melody's kind of coming alive in the room, and that excitement. I think that's what draws most of us back to the table again, even if it never gets heard, in the masses. It's just magical, right? I often wonder if things are like pre-written and we're just kind of the vessels that are leaning in enough to like hear them and make them come to life.
Yeah.
Definitely feels that way sometimes. One of the songs that you wrote that was very much like that was Beautifully Broken.
Mm.
And I remember you saying you heard it in the shower.
I was in the shower. Yeah. No, that one was for sure one of those that I was like, okay, there's something much bigger than we understand or know. But
and it sat for a while. You did. Sat for a while, and then suddenly Plum and
John Barry
and
amazing.
Winans, like all three of them cut it and ended up being the title track to a movie. That's huge. But I know that you were just obedient to receive it and then release it in that way. Because a lot of times as artists too, we receive songs, it's like, oh, this one's mine, you were willing to release it. And I think it was blessed because of that.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that kind of started the whole, I really like being in the background of things rather than in the forefront. So I don't know if that's like what triggered the idea of what I do now, just making music for content and for TV and for film. And I love storytelling with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also like therapy. A lot of times you can't process what you're thinking about. And so for it to come out in melody and lyric, I don't know.
That's very true for me as well. And that I spent so many years trying to make it as an artist and getting so close, but it just not working out. But also feeling this frustration of, is this what I really want? Is this truly meaningful? Is this something that I'm going to be proud of 30, 40 years from now, singing the same song again and again and again? And recognizing that I really wanted more out of my life, and that I was so focused on trying to tell my own story when I really didn't know who I was because I'd played so many roles. And I have found I have so much more joy telling other people's stories, hearing their stories. And like you said, it's hard to sometimes process what you're thinking. Being able to help people process their thoughts, their emotions, what they're wanting to convey, whether it's for a brand or for a special event, to put that into words and put that into a song. And so I've had the joy of being able to write custom songs for events and for organizations. And I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Well, that is exactly why I contacted you both, and I just said, I need a jingle. For me, it was I wanted something that, you don't have to have a jingle to do a podcast, right? I mean, you don't have to, but I wanted something that would give this introduction. We redid the logo. It was, it very much was it almost looked like a wine podcast. And so I wanted to get away from that. I mean, y'all know that I enjoy wine, but it wasn't, there's nothing wrong with that logo. It wasn't quite what I wanted. And then when we redid that, I was like, I want something different at the beginning of this. Yeah. So tell me about the process. I mean, I could speak it from my point of view, but well, and I will. So you just said, tell me what the inspiration was. And so I sent you a document. That's all I really did. I sent you a document. And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting and like crying when I hear it in Jenny's studio. So there's a lot that happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So tell me, what did you do with the document when once I gave it to you?
Well, when you emailed it, I first went to Jenny because you were like, can you and Jenny write this? I was like, hey, you want to write a song for Kathryn? She's like, come on, do it, Lee, let's do it. So, number one, it was so joyful. And two, just knowing you, we already had kind of an idea of what would support your vision. We knew you loved Ellie Holcomb and Drew Holcomb, the neighbors, and just kind of that come together organic theme. So I wanted to get that feel musically. And I knew so I brought that idea to Jenny, and then we sat together, and Jenny was like, the best conversations happen around, a drink and at a table, and let's just get that feel.
Yeah.
And so we started just playing with different sounds. I really wanted to have real sounds in the song, and so did Jenny. So we were like, okay, let's think about, I'm going to lean forward real quick. Yeah. A cup being set down, a clap. The sound of a
percolating in coffee. Although our favorite one that we left was trying to find some Foley sound for pouring a drink that didn't sound like you're
using the restroom.
Yes. We giggled for a long time over that one. That is a very hard find, Bo.
Yeah. But we played with sounds, but also had a few lyric ideas there. And what I kind of presented and we played off of was like, bring your cup, be filled, find what you're looking for, and definitely wanted to have that hook, a good pour. So yeah, we played off of those lyrics.
Boom claps with the lyrics that she was, because she just goes so fast with lyrics. We are a match made in heaven for songwriting, because I lean towards building a track really fast, and she just, it takes me a while to edit and think about what I want to say, but that comes naturally to her first. So we're pretty fast.
I want to say we wrote it with.
I made her go in the vocal booth, and she's like, "Wait, yeah, it was pretty fast." You're like, "Wait, well, I guess we're recording this today." was like, yeah, let's do it.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was very natural. And then we just kind of added in, she threw the harmonies on and added in the other sounds. And for a while we were thinking guitar, but then just last minute,
We went
we just
B3.
had that B3, just the organ. And it felt right. It felt right. And you threw on guitar, you threw on a fiddle track, and I love the way it sounds. And I was
I do too.
so happy at your reaction. I was like, okay, you know, when you write a song, it feels like a baby, and you feels like you're presenting the baby, and you just don't want people to be like,
It's ugly.
Yeah. Next baby. We'll say jingles are much more difficult to write than a song because there's just, I don't know, you only have a certain amount of time, 30 seconds or less, to convey something, and you don't want to be cheesy. And it's hard when you're,
So when I got home, Seth was like, "What did you think?" I mean, he was nervous for me because I would have been honest. Like if it wasn't the brand or wasn't me, I would have told you. Yeah. It would have been a hard cover. Like after you create something, you want it to be good, right? You want it to match.
Yeah.
You know this. That's same thing when we do a logo or we do anything. Like we want to be on the money, right?
mm-hmm.
But he was like, "Oh, good. I did not want you to have to use something. And I was like, "What? I would have done that, But I just, I was so impressed too. And Liz, you brought the folder, and it's a product, right? Like it's something, you brought what I said, and then the second page is what you created, and then of course there's a wonderful sweet letter in the back, and it was an amazing experience for you both to do this, and it's such a gift. But I just sitting in that room. And we were going to do it in the car because Jenny was out of town, but there was something about that studio, just hearing it there.
I'm so glad we got to hear it in the studio. And I wish we had recorded your face.
Me too.
I so wish we had. Your reaction was perfect.
And I said this in text. I can't remember to who, but I hope you both. But it just, between the lyrics and the music and a new logo and just the heart and soul that really that goes behind what we're trying to do to see it all come together.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of goodness coming together to create something even better, right? And that's why I'm in marketing to begin with, because we are all using different talents to make this world better. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad that we could make the musical backdrop, the soundtrack for this amazing podcast, and everything that you're doing is really cool.
Absolutely. It's just such a gift. Such a gift. Okay, so I like to end with, we say a lot and we have to be full to pour out to others, right? So how do you fill up in order for your goodness to keep going?
I love that. Well, for me, I would say I call it micro disciplines for me, because I'm one of those people that gets overwhelmed with the bigger picture. So sometimes if I can't give it my all, I'm like, well, I'm just going to set it aside altogether. And so in an effort to not do that, I find that if I can carve out 15 to 30 minute to 1 hour time slots in my day and dedicate them to disciplines and habits that I'm trying to build and create. So every single day, doesn't matter when, but I have to check off that 15 minute, 30 minute, or 60 minute. So lately, what's given me life is meditation and prayer over a cup of coffee. And it's so much more than checking a box off. It's just like, I can tell the difference when I start my day with clearing my head. I don't know, I'm much more productive in the studio or with whatever I'm doing, and with my family. And
yeah.
So
before you go, Liz, so you're a 9 on the Enneagram.
Yes.
So
heavy one wing.
Well, but it's interesting because I thought about you. Caleb has tested. They're doing a church. They're doing Ashley from the chamber here is coaching them on the Enneagram.
Oh, that's great.
For the high school juniors and seniors, led by Aaron Birch. And Caleb was like, I tested as a 9, but I do not understand this one wing. Like, I am not a perfectionist. I'm not organized. And I was like, actually, I learned this from Jenny is, you can strive to be that perfectionist, but as a 9, you're just like, I'm just going to avoid it. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I love I really think that could help him of just this kind of, because he'll just avoid. It's just this I know I can't,
ball
I can't be perfect, so I'm not even going to try, sort of thing. So I really like that you said there, because I think that could help him too.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so beautiful too, that you have a family, because you're an 8, and I mean 9s and 8s I think complement one another so well. The action taker.
For 9,
Yeah.
so
You are just surrounded.
I'm surrounded. Clara's tested like 3 different things, and so we're just waiting for her. We'll see, but
Yeah.
yeah,
She'll discover it.
she's like 3, 6. Not, I mean, like it's
3, 6.
She's in
that
that.
triad.
Well, she's got. It was 3, 6, and 1. Those were her.
Okay.
Her 3
Yeah.
ones that stood out the most. I've always said she's a 6, not, just based on anxiety and, you know, and we did the whole thing. I said, when you walk into a movie theater, do you look at the exit signs? And she's like, absolutely. Do you not? And I'm like, no, I do not. I never look for the exit sign. So anyway, we're having fun with it as much as we've learned. I mean, Jenny, you're an Enneagram coach, and so
it definitely
we've
changed
talked about it forever, but it's fun to now talk about it to your kids. So anyway, Liz.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that, because she is amazing, by the way. Yeah, and I on that field, I'm a 3, and from my background, as you can tell, that's how I survived as a child, was being the performer, the achiever. And the 9 is kind of my weakness, to kind of fall back into isolation. So the 6, kind of being more aware of others, is where my healing was found. And so my joy job is teaching preschool music. You know this. And that's where I get my cup filled, to be around children and to kind of help raise up the next generation in music, and helping them see that there is purpose in their uniqueness. And I also lead worship for children at church, and I'm getting to start to lead some worship leaders, including her daughter comes and sings with me.
It's been amazing. Yeah.
It's such a joy to see them rise up and be like, yeah, I want to step forward and lead my peers and lead these kids. And the kids always get inspired by other kids so much more than they do adults. So just in my second half of life, which I'm creeping towards, but I like to say I had a career in entertainment for 27 years until I started having kids. And I'm really proud of that career. Mm-hmm. But now I'm in a stage where I enjoy creating for the fun of it, for the love of it, and helping inspire creativity in the next generation.
That's amazing.
You are a true blessing. A true blessing. Yeah. And kids, don't they teach you so much?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, absolutely. Every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you both. I love you both. Was such a gift. The experience was a gift. If you need a jingle, this is, like I said, it's a product now. So what else? What else could you write? Like, what else? What could they come? Anything?
Well,
anything.
I'll give you just one little fun fact. Jenny was part of a unreleased Mark Barnett show called Jingles. She and our friend Victoria Veneer won the show.
I did.
And for mysterious circumstances, they never
showed on the shelves of CBS.
Yeah. So they had written jingles for major corporations.
We did.
And won each round. So she's got that. I've written songs, like I said, for special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries. I also have written songs in memoriam. I've written songs for organizations like CASA of Orange County. They hired me to write their 20th anniversary song. I've written a song for a foundation called Love Big. And
it's like therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, to tell someone's story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So really, anything, bring it to us and we can do it for you.
Absolutely.
It was an amazing experience. Amazing experience.
Thank you for honoring us with the gift to be able to bless you and this amazing podcast. I love listening to it, learning from it, and I know it's going to bless so many. Continue to.
Definitely. Good conversations.
Thank you both. I love you.
I love you.